Okay, and I am back. This is a part 2 video for chapter 7. In this video, we're going to concentrate on doing the using CSS to make the 3-column layout, a page layout. So I have that from the previous video. We were using I think it was I can't remember. This the Constitution. There you go. We were using the Constitution for we were working on that page. I'm gonna go back and let's go back and work on that one a little bit. I have added some changes, or I added some things to it, so we can save us some time when working on it. There it is. Yeah. So let me show you. All right. So I'm opening this in Chrome. All right. So what I added. All right. So remember this right here is what we added for our internal shortcuts or internal hyperlinks. But I also added two menus or some links for different parts of the government, as well as also added links to the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. And what we're going to do is we are going to use CSS to we're going to have our menu over here, the top one. We're going to have that one on the left, and we're going to have these two over on the right hand side, and the whole entire text of the Constitution is going to be right there in the middle. Okay, so let me go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into. You can open this page up, and that's right. I want to, because this is going to could get quite lengthy. Well, I don't think it will. We can try and see. I don't think it quite lengthy. It should just be a couple of lines of code. But I'll go ahead and open up a notepad. Y'all want to try to. There you go. Yeah. All right. So there you go. We have our menu that's going to be on the left over here, and these two sections, the important links and the founding documents, that part is going to be over on the right hand side. Okay, so before we can do this, we need to actually add some let's say content, or some other tags inside of our HTML before we jump into the CSS. So what we need to do is we are going to make a container tag. What the container is we're going to make a div tag, and we're going to call it container. What this div tag is going to do is basically it's going to allow us to actually keep a nice neat box around our whole entire page. So we'll tell the browser, okay, this between only us display what the maximum amount of width or the maximum height for this particular page is going to be within inside this little box. So it's going to be a simple div, and we're going to put the whole entire page inside this div. And let's give it an ID of, let's say container. Yeah. And a container, like I said, all this is just a box that fits around the whole entire web page. So yeah, so I have the beginning of the div tag right here at the top, and I'm going to come all the way down here to the bottom to the end of my body tag, and I want to put my closing div tag right here. Alright, so there you go. So now we have that container tag wrapped around the whole entire web page. I was gonna say web sheet. Alright, so let me go back up here to the top, and now we have to add let's use some HTML5 structure elements, structure tags. So here, so let's go ahead, let's call this our navigation menu that we were working with before. Let's go ahead and call that nav. And so we're going to wrap around we're going to put the nav tag around our first menu. Yeah. So all of this is going to be inside the nav tag. Okay, so the first menu that we were working with, the one that had the articles and the sections and all the good stuff. And all right, and for our important links as well as our founding documents, we're going to put all of that. Yeah, that's it. That's all of it. We're going to put all of that inside of a tag called aside. This is going to be on the side of the page there. Now you could actually do this with div tags, and just give you the same effect. Aside, alright. Alright, so now that we have our structure tags in there, now we can go ahead and go to our CSS. See our start CSS up in the head, and we can actually manipulate our information so it can actually give us the 3-column layout. And it's actually quite simple, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead. So let's go ahead, and inside of our head tag, let's go ahead and put in our style tags for our style, our CSS. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Got that in there. So now we need to put, we have to have at least 4 rules for the container. And I'm just going to go ahead and spell them out in here, all 4 of them, and I'm going to come back in and add stuff into it in a few minutes. So I got my nav tag that we're working with. I know I forgot something. The main tag. We have to have the main tag. Yes, we have to put our 3rd column, put it around it, and call it the main tag. So then we go ahead while I'm up here. We go ahead and put the main tag, and that's going to be for all of the text of the Constitution. And our last one is going to be our side tag. All right. Okay, so those are the 4 tags that we're going to be playing with our for our layout. Now, because we forgot the main tag for the content, let's go back down here, and we're going to wrap around because I think it starts. So you had, yeah. So it's actually going to start right before this hyperlink that has the Constitution Project hyperlink. Right here, right above there, we're going to put in the beginning tag for main. Oops. Alright, and we're going to scroll all the way down there to the very bottom. Yeah, this thing is quite lengthy. This Constitution. Yeah. All right. Now we are going to have to put it right here before I enter div tag, because all of this right here, everything that's inside the div, like I said, the div is the container. So all of our text has to be, and all of the structure stuff has to be inside of that div for the container. So I'm going to place my ending main tag right before my ending div tag. Alright, so now we have that in there. So we have our side tag in there, our main tag in there, and our div tag. Now, the reason why scroll up a little bit more. Yeah, the reason why we have our side tag over here, right, our side tag right above the or right next to, or before the main tag of the content, because you would think it would be the right left side, information for the left side, and then you have the information for the main part, and then you will have on the at the bottom of it you'll have your information for your stuff on the right hand side. Well, you have to put it, I have to put your left side and the right side together because it's the way that the browser actually reads the the information. So we want to read it first. We read the left side and the right side first, so we can actually get the alignment correctly, and then it'll greet everything else. All right. So we're going to do come back up here to my style sheet, and for our container, we're going to tell it to do a maximum. Well, yeah, let's do a maximum width. Let's see. Yeah, because that maximum width of let's say, I think your book, I think it's 916. I think you can actually make that. Depending on how you want it, your website or web page to be laid out, you can actually put whatever number you want to put in there. Because like I said, that container tag, that's width is going to contain all of the information. It's going that little box actually contains all the information inside that's on your web page. All right. So for the navigation, you remember navigation part. This is going to be this is the menu. We want to float this to the left because you want that to be on the left hand side. Float. Yeah. All right. Float left. Yeah, also let's put a background color on it so we can actually see the layout in action. Equals, and let's do red, white, and blue for the background colors for right now. Now for the width, I mean for the main tag, we don't want to mess with the height because it's such a long document or some text. So let's go with let's do the width. Let's actually play with the width. So let's say do a maximum width because our container up here is 960. Our maximum width can't be more, and also we have to deal with that the side part as well. It can't be the it can't be more than 960. So let's say we can tell it to do actually, but you can put you can put in either pixels or you can actually put in percentages. And with percentages, that basically telling the browser, okay, figure it out for yourself. And you probably want to use when you're dealing with mobile devices that we'll talk about in a minute. With mobile devices, you may want to actually use more percentages than actual pixels because it allows the browser to actually play with the using percentages. It actually allows the browser to actually play with the format of the web page. So I'll say 25%, and definitely probably change that. We'll probably have to. That may be too small. All right, and also for the nav part, let's come back here. And we also have to put a maximum width on the nav part, and let's make the maximum width. Let's make it 150 pixels. And for our side tag, because this is the part that's going to go over to the right, we have to do a float right. And let's put a background color on it. Let's put that blue background color on it. But since we were going to do red, white, and blue. And let's do our maximum width. Let's do that. That's 150. Let's try. Let's try 150 on that one too. We may have to, because of the information on there, we actually may have to change it. But like I said, once we get the how we want it the layout to look, then we can actually start playing around with it, give it, make it a little bit more organized. All right. So that's it for our layout, for our three column layout. Yeah, I told you it was easy. So basically, you're basically just floating one part to the left and one part to the right. And that's how you'll make your three column layout. Alright, so I'm going to save this, and let's go ahead and let's bring this up into, yeah, bring this up into, I want to say Photoshop. This is not Photoshop, this is Chrome. We're going into Chrome and let's see how it looks. Did not take my stuff. Alright, let me see what I did wrong. Yeah, so I told the side to float to the right, correct. Navigation float to the left, yes. Alright. First of all, let me see if I'm actually using the right one. Desktop courses. I don't think I am. I had another desktop thing on here. Yeah, I thought I had another. So that's it. Desktop. Come down here to courses. I see 226. And it's, yeah, demo constitution. That is it. Yeah, I know I just saved it, right? I know I saved it. Yeah, so that is the right one I'm working with. Okay. Save as, make sure it's in the right location. Yep. Courses. Alright. So let's see what's going on. Alright. So it didn't show up the way I wanted it to. And the colors didn't even show up. Let's have in my style tag there, okay. What in the world am I doing? And you guys even catch it. Alright, yeah. I don't need the hashtags because they're not assigned to IDs. Duh. So I didn't need the hashtags. So in our style sheet up here at the top, the only thing that needs to have a hashtag is the container, because that's the ID name for that div that we gave it a little bit earlier. But everything else is an actual tag, so we don't need the hashtag. Alright, now it should work. I'm like, what? Alright. So that, yes. Okay, we got that stuff on the right side, yes. Stuff on the left side. What in the world happened to my text? Yeah, because and remember my screen, I'm in my office and my screen is actually quite big. So I'm going to change from percentages. Let's change that to 75%. Okay. So we may have to change the width of our container. Let's see how come. May need to put some padding on there too. Yeah, so on our main part, let's put some padding. Padding. Let's do about 50, let's do 10. Let's do 10 pixels. 10 pixels for our padding. Okay. So that means the reason that is coming up, we need to find out how come that is showing up on that side. It's not actually coming down, because this right here is supposed to actually be coming straight down the middle here. It shouldn't be like overlapping here on the side. Alright, so let's see. Now let's also add some padding to, let's say about 5 pixels of padding. Alright, now I'm going to come down here. So now I added that padding in there. Now I'm going to come down here to my HTML and let's see how come my main tag is so close to my my navigation tag on the left is so close to my main. Right. That padding may actually even solve that problem. Let's try. So I saved it. Interesting. So we may have to get rid of the percent from maximum width, and we may have to actually put in some pixels. Okay. How many pixels? Let's do 500 pixels. Because remember, all of the maximum width, all this has to add up. It can't be more than 960. I think we should be in the correct range. Remember, that's our container. What? Alright, so didn't like it. Okay. So, was it 150? It's 300. Yes, it's going to be too much because at 300, change it to 600. That'd be not actually that'd be right. This will give us 60 pixels to play with. All right. Now they figure how come it's actually going on this side. It's not coming straight down the middle. All right. Margin. I'll keep the padding on there, but I'll put a margin. Let's put a margin left, and let's move it and tell it to move it over to the left so they can get out of the way. Now, when you're playing with the margins, remember, because you're dealing with the margins on each side, you're actually the higher the number, the more it's actually going to go over to the left, over to the other side. So, say for example, I'm telling it to do it margin left, but when I do margin left, it's actually, instead of actually staying on the left, it's actually going to move over to the right, because you're actually increasing that left margin, and so it pushes the content over to the right. And if I had a margin right, it's the higher the number, it's going to push it over to the left. Right, so, and I actually may not need that max width. Because that 9600 is going to be too much. We need to put in the pixel. Let's see. So we had a maximum width of 150 pixels on that one. So for our, so it had to be, about 200 pixels for the margin, so they actually move up to the center. Maximum width. Let's see the maximum width of 300. Let's see 25% and have the browser figure it out. So if you don't want to do the math, you got the browser do it. Yep, there it is. Yay! Alright. So now we can actually, we can actually make our content wider, so it can actually fill up the whole entire screen. So let's start 50. We also take that padding off too, so get rid of some of that extra space that's in there. Yeah, there you go. And we can actually do a margin top, or no, we'll do a margin bottom to actually move this up, so it actually is closer to the top, so it matches up with this side. But let's increase the maximum width. Say 75%. And I know why, because because that padding is 10% or 10 pixels. That padding is actually putting that padding all around that whole entire text. So let's actually take out the padding. No, scratch that. Let's change that to 5 pixels. Alright. So we'll say that I changed the maximum width to 75%, and that might be too much. Let's try. Yep, it's too much. Alright, so 75% won't work. Let's try 60. And that once you have this set up, alright, so I changed my maximum width to 60%. Let's see if it likes it. Okay, so it liked it, yes. Okay, it's good. We got that space in there. Okay, good. Now let's see if we can get the stuff at the top here, and we may have to do a margin, probably a margin bottom. I prefer actually doing a margin bottom, because I don't want to actually add, because if I do a margin top, because it's going to push up to the top, I have to put in negative numbers. I don't want to do that. So right here, margin left. Alright, well, I might be able to change margin top to 0. That might actually solve the problem too. I try margin top 0 before I try the margin bottom. And we'll see if that'll save it. Nope. Alrighty then. So we will have to go to margin bottom. And the same way we were talking about the margin for left and right, the same thing goes for top and bottom. No, because it'll make it really. No, we might be okay. We might be okay. Because you just want to move the margin. That might be 50 pixels, maybe. You may have to reduce that. So I added a margin bottom, because we're trying to get rid of that extra spaces at the top. Shocking. Alright, fine. Fine, let's get rid of the padding. Let's get rid of the padding and see if the padding's actually stopping it. So I got rid of the padding that I had for, I think we said we were going to do that. So I got rid of the padding for the, and I got rid of the padding. So let's go ahead and actually get rid of that margin bottom too. So I'm thinking that margin of that padding is probably going to solve that problem we're having. That's going to allow us to actually move it up. It's going to come up for us. Yep. Beautimous. All right. So now you can see we have our 3 columns over here on the side. And if you want to, you see how the text is over here on the side and it's kind of messed. We can actually add padding to it to actually make it look a lot better. Or we can also increase the maximum, the maximum width. Yeah, the maximum width. We can increase that as well. So if you wanted to make the maximum width of the side 200, actually we have to add the pad. Let's make it 200 because there is more information on that side than they have on the nav part on the left side. And let's also add some padding on there too, so we can actually add some space, so it's not too far from the edges. Padding. Let's add 5 pixels of padding. And because remember when you just padding by itself, it takes the padding and actually wraps it around the entire component or the entire element. So it's going to add, so on everything that's in the side tag, it's going to add 5 pixels of padding to the left, right, top, and bottom. However, if you wanted to add it just to one side, we'll have to tell it specifically that we want to have the padding on padding dash top, padding dash bottom, so the browser can pick it up. Alright, so I got my padding in there. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. Okay, so see. So it looks good. Alright, so pretty good. Now if you said we wanted to add, make this, because right now it's nice because I have a big screen in my office. So if we wanted to, we could actually, if I wanted to actually make it all the way over to the side so it covers up everything, I will have to probably increase my container width to I can increase my container width to something larger than 960, and it'll fit it. Maximum width 100%. Try that. Now I'm just playing around right now. So it got 100. So I changed the maximum width of our main tag to 100%, and we'll see what it does. Yep. So it actually pushed that over, but like I said, we have to change the maximum width of a container because pretty much to something higher than 960. So because my screen, like I said, is really big in my office. I'm trying to think of the screen resolution that I have here. $24.60. All right. There you go. And now, because I added now, I can actually see on my whole entire screen. Yeah, so it really depends on how big your container is, if you want to do it that way. If I wanted to, I could actually take the container off, and it wouldn't be, it'll fit the whole entire screen. But if you want to have something, keep everything nice and neat, you can put it inside that, put everything inside the container. Alright, yay. Alright, so because I am perfectionist, I'm going to actually move, that was a side part. I can put, yeah, padding. Do a padding, because we want to put it on the right side. Padding right. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Mm, let's just try pixels. Okay. All right. So I have to do more. It's gonna have to be more than 50 pixels. Because I'm trying to get rid of. You see how it is on the side here? I'm trying to get rid of so all of it's pushed over here. And one thing too, I can also change it from 100% to something higher than that, or a little bit lower than that. Yeah. It's gonna keep pushing and pushing. Let's see, take the padding off, and then I can do that to like, oh, maybe 80%, maybe. There you go. Yeah. Now, of course, you may be asking, how come, you know, the everything is over? It doesn't come all the way down. That's because we have to tell it to do maximum height. So on the side part and on the nav part, we have to tell it to do a maximum height of, and what's the height of our container? Our width is 260. We'll have to tell it to do a maximum height of, and this is a long page, so it's gonna be really long. Have to tell it to do a maximum height. And stretch. Let's put it on the container. Yeah, let's put the maximum height on the container. And like I said, this is a very long document, so it has to go all the way down to the end. So there's no telling how long we're gonna, or how high this number has to be. um, let's try. I want to say like 5,000. Yeah, and when I'm troubleshooting, I like to go do extravagant numbers, so I can see exactly if it's good, if it's too much, if it's too little, and then I can actually slowly adjust it once I figure exactly where my limit is. And did I save it? That's if you want. Since you won't let me do it on the container, I'll have to do it on each tag. Yep. All right. So that's the maximum height. Oh, this is gonna be outrageous. Yeah. So I'm gonna take you off the container, and I'm gonna put maximum height of 5,000 on the nav tag and also on the aside tag. Oh, this should be fun. All right, we go ahead, save that. What? Did I kill it? Like I said, this is a long document, so just imagine that's color have to come all the way down to the bottom. So there's no telling how much that is. It's not doing the maximum height. I'm like, yeah, right. It's not doing 5,000 pixels. Okay, fine. Alright. So I had the video on pause and I was playing around with it. And I took off the maximum height. I just changed the height and it actually worked. I think I put like 5,000. I actually did put the 5,000 in there. I think I did, and it still wasn't even long enough. So I can show you. Yeah, so I changed it from maximum height to just height. I actually go put minimum height too, and there that's down. It goes down. It goes further down. But you notice this is 5,000. It's not even close. So, like I said, I have a. This is a real long document, and I have a very big screen in my office. All right, so just like I said, like I said, I like to go extravagant to make sure I know exactly where my limit is. Yeah, so of course 10,000 will work. Um, we can also do the reason why I can't do 100%. That's probably a question I'm getting because it only attaches it. I won't say attached, but to the actual. It only does the height of the actual content in the tag. So if I wanted to, I could have did a div, call it the side, and then just manipulate the div. But just for this particular video, I'm I just use the tags. But yeah, so the height, and I'll show you. Yeah, so height is 100%. Now watch, it shrinks back down so it can match the content. All right, so that is our nice three-column layout. uh, yeah, so like I said, it's very easy. The only thing is that may take the also the longest or the most difficult part is actually being able to actually remove the content or the elements of it so it can actually make it look nice and neat. And so we were able to do our three columns in what maybe like 10 15 minutes, but actually the rest of the time that we spent was about seems like about 30 minutes we spent actually just trying to maneuver and actually making it look nice and neat. All right, so I'm going to conclude chapter not chapter but this part of chapter 7 when I'm going to actually make another video for the rest of the chapter. So this whole chapter, so the because I think so because if I did it all together, it's been I think maybe over 2 hour lecture in one video. So I will split it up, and for chapter 3, for the part 3, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of the chapter. But this is all for this part. I'll see you guys in the next video.